What is the message to Islam? What do you want to say to Islam?
I'm ready to fight. Can't wait to fight him, and I will knock him out. I promise everybody. I promise you, people in Brazil. I promise my coach. We're gonna change everybody's life, and I will bring that belt to Brazil. He's good. He's have a good kickboxing, bro. But of course I'm much better. So I'm excited to test myself against him.
For Islam and saying that they believe Carlos Prates has a good shot at beating him now after seeing this Ian Gary fight, what's your reaction to the MMA community some of them being a little bit negative about the way this fight played out?
Great, set it up and bring on the next one. We're expected to fight the best ones available. So if it's Prates, great. If it's Morales, great. If it's Shavkat, great. Bring him. I don't care. Islam is not going to care who he fights. Well, look, if we are pound for pound number one and we claim that, and which we do, we shouldn't be afraid of anybody. And Islam's not. So I don't think he cares who's next. If it's the number one guy the UFC picks, that's who we fight. So, yeah, it's like you come, let's see what you can do. We'll prepare for you too, just like everybody else. And we have to respect every one of these fighters.
Carlos Prates claims that he's next for Islam, claims he was told, you will be Islam's next opponent. You're fighting for the world championship. Signed a new deal, signed an 8-fight deal. I mean, Prates gave us a lot of information. It would be unusual if in the process of giving us lots of information that he slipped something in there that wasn't so. But it's also possible that
guys, Morales, Prates, Shavkat, they make me like training every day more hard. But because I say this is the real fighters who can give me good fights. It's more tough guys, more big guys. With all respect, they are the most powerful division right now.
I need a message for Islam Makhachev.
I will knock you out, bro. Knock you out. I will bring that belt to Brazil. The first welterweight champ from Brazil.
I feel in my heart of hearts it's going to be Carlos Prates. I feel like that's the move. That's the guy who's been more active. That's the guy who has the higher quality wins.
Now, still, stylistically, and particularly a guy like Prates, I do believe that the UFC is probably going to give him Carlos Prates because they like him. Bro, stylistically, that's a great matchup for
Carlos Prates has sent a clear message to Islam Makhachev. He is ready to fight and believes he can knock him out. Prates says he wants to shock the world, become a champion, and bring the UFC belt back to Brazil. Prates respects Islam's kickboxing, but he believes he is better on the feet. He is excited to test his striking against one of the best fighters in the UFC. Islam's team, however, is not worried. Javier Mendez says Islam will fight whoever the UFC chooses. If it is Prates, Michael Morales, or Shavkat Rakhmonov, they are ready.
With Islam at 170 because I think it's going to be a lot tougher for him. And so now we're going to really truly see who he is. He's already proven himself at 155. There was really nothing left. Yes, there was another Arman fight, and yes, we wanted to see the Ilya fight, and I would argue that I probably wanted to see those fights more than any other challenge at 170. But now, him versus Carlos, him versus Michael Morales, him versus Shavkat, maybe a rematch down the line against Ian Gary. Sign me up. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. And so who are they going to go with? They had Carlos there. They had cameras on him. They did the split screen with Michael Morales and Carlos Prates. I feel in my heart of hearts it's going to be Carlos Prates. I feel like that's the move. That's the guy who's been more active. That's the guy who has the higher quality wins. I feel like...
I mean, it's so hard because, like, after Ian lost, he was almost like, I lost. Like, I felt like he survived. I don't know. I have, like, a weird mixed emotion about, like, he survived, and I felt like he didn't give it. It's kind of hard for me to say this, right? It's almost like I never forget when I fought Dominic Cruz. I left it out there. I was fucking battered, beaten, fucking face was all swollen. Yeah. I gave it my all. Like if I just really, I guess you say, laid it all that on the line. Like I'm gonna try to fucking finish you. And I just didn't feel that same killer instinct. Even Dana White said the exact same thing.
I felt like, I think that Ian is a talented guy. If he had even an ounce of killer instinct, you don't come out and hug and shake hands in the fight. That shit drives me fucking crazy.
Dude, I had the opportunity to dethrone the greatest of the generation, of my generation, the greatest of all time, you know, the 2 divisional champ. And I didn't feel that killer instinct. But when you look at his past fights, his 5 fights, he's gone to decision. He hasn't really developed new skills.
Mendez's message is simple. If Islam is truly the pound-for-pound #1 fighter, he should not be afraid of anyone. They will prepare for every opponent the same way. Prates believes he could be Islam's next opponent. He says he was told he would get the title fight and was asked to sign a new deal. But there is still some uncertainty about whether that fight is officially confirmed.
But not because of the title, only because of the title or money. But I really wanna fight him because I wanna test myself against him. You know, like I'm really excited to do this. I really think I can win. I can like shock the world. I can make everybody surprised.
You feel it. You really truly feel it in your heart.
Yeah.
I feel like it's all coming together for you.
I will do this. I will do this.
Is an incredible fighter. But remember, Carlos Prates fought with Ian Gary, and how did that go? Just because his last fight was fantastic against which Mo,
JDM,
right?
yeah.
JDM. Sorry, yes, JDM.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to be Islam. It's a different fighter. He did fight fantastic.
Some analysts believe Prates is the best choice. He has been active and has strong wins, especially his victory over JDM. They also believe the UFC may like the matchup between Prates and Islam, but Javier Mendez has a warning. He says beating JDM does not automatically mean Prates can beat Islam. Islam is a completely different challenge, especially because of his wrestling and ground game. Prates admits he would be the underdog, but that does not bother him. He says he genuinely believes he can win and wants to test himself against Islam. He believes he can shock everyone. Prates also says he has studied Islam's takedowns. He believes there are moments when Islam can be attacked, especially when he is striking on the feet.
I don't like watch fights at all, like striking fights or some of friends. Of course, I like to watch, but especially if there's some grappler fighting, I don't like to watch. I like to watch like people's getting knocked, a lot of action and things like that. And it's crazy because now I really like to train grappling, you know, more than striking, but I don't like to watch. Yeah, but I don't like to watch like grappling and fighters go to the ground.
Especially up close, do you see holes? Do you see, you know, things that you're going to try to exploit when you fight him? He's been 17 wins in a row, and usually very dominant. But yet I'm wondering, when you watch him, do you see holes that you're going to try to exploit?
Yeah, especially on the takedowns.
Oh,
try takedowns on when he's striking, you know, like I like to see the way I can like he defend something, you know, stop some takedown or things like that.
okay. What about on the feet? What about the striking? What do you make of his striking?
He's good. He's have a good kickboxing, bro, you know, but of course I'm much better. So I'm excited to.
Prates thinks his own kickboxing is better, but Mendez says Islam's biggest advantage could come once the fight goes to the ground. He wants to see how well Prates can stop the takedowns, escape, and get back to his feet. Prates is not looking for a decision. He believes the only realistic way to beat Islam is by knockout. He does not think anyone can simply outpoint Islam over 5 rounds.
Islam is not going to care who he fights. Well, look, if we are pound for pound #1 and we claim that, and which we do, we shouldn't be afraid of anybody, and Islam's not. So I don't think he cares who's next. If it's the #1 guy the UFC picks, that's who we fight. So yeah, it's like you come.
I'm ready to fight. I can't wait to fight him, and I will knock him out. I promise everybody. I promise you, people's in Brazil. I promise my coach. We're gonna change everybody's life, and I will bring.
Fight between him and Islam would look if he was the next one.
It's a very dangerous fight because he's an extremely explosive, striker that knows how to use his range really, really well. And I look forward to the challenge. So if that's who they pick, I look forward to it. And let's see how well he does with the takedown defense, and let's see how well he does with Islam striking too. It's like everybody was thinking that Islam had to take Ian down. Well, it didn't quite work out as well as people thought, did he? He hit him. He hit him with the beautiful kick. He hit him with some decent strikes, So it wasn't like he had to take him down. It was the best option, and obviously it doesn't take a scientist to know that with Prates is always going to be the best option to take him down. So it's a matter of, we're going to stand with you, and if you give us the right opportunity, well, we could take you out, but ultimately we want to take you to the ground and let's see how well you defend. And then when we get you down, let's see how well you're able to get back up or reverse us. So those could be the telltale signs of what's going to happen.
There is also another contender in the picture, Michael Morales. Chael Sonnen questions whether Prates should automatically get the title shot. He believes Morales may actually be next because he is ready to serve as the backup fighter. If something goes wrong before the title fight, Morales could step in on very short notice.
Because you don't just say you're going to beat him, you say you're going to knock him out. You believe that in your heart.
Because I think the only way to beat Islam is knocking him out.
You can't go the distance with him.
Yeah, I don't think somebody can right now. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Amosov, I don't know, can fight him 5 rounds and beat him by points. But I don't think nobody can beat him by points, so I think that the easier way, like not easier, but the less hard way.
Question by Islam, and the media seem to like it, that you put Prates and Morales against each other. Let them identify who the number 1 contender is. Now, the problem with doing that is we don't really want to know. I mean, we need guys to be number 1 contenders, so if we've got 2 of them, we put them together, we eliminate a future title match. But if there's nothing else to do in the meanwhile, okay, great. By the way, if we do go with that theory, then we're going to shelf Islam for X amount of time. And I don't know, maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's bad, maybe that's one of the things that Islam enjoys about it. Maybe it's a key factor that Islam even brought up in the first place, have these 2 fight, because he wants to.
Sonnen also questions the idea of making Prates fight Morales first. If the UFC puts 2 top contenders against each other, one of them could lose and disappear from the title picture. So the welterweight division now has a major question. Should Carlos Prates get the next fight against Islam Makhachev, or should Michael Morales get the opportunity?
Problem with Prates be next. I have no problem with anything Prates involved. He's awesome. He's got a shtick. The fans love him. He's a big man. He's a big, powerful man. I just don't know how he's next. I thought that Morales was next. In fact, it was reported that Dana White told Morales, "You're next." Now, that was an issue, if you guys remember this, of the reading of the lips. Dana says something to Morales after Morales' tremendous victory inside Madison Square Garden that people said was Dana telling him that you're next. I saw that same moment, and that's not what I got, but Morales is as close to next as you can get. He is in the backup spot. If anybody blunders a weigh-in, which happens sometimes, then Friday morning, Morales is going to find out that he's going in for the title. Oh, and by the way, he doesn't know if that's going to be against Islam or if that's going to be against Gary. He's going to have to just step in at 24 hours notice against either guy. Now, history says, with only 2 exceptions to this, history says if you were the backup fighter, you were then the fighter in your next match. Everybody that's ever held down adequately, meaning they got licensed, they train, they hit the scale and made it. Anybody who's ever done that, 2 exceptions, is next. And I think that Morales is...
Prates believes his power can shock Islam. Mendez believes Islam's wrestling could expose Prates. And Sonnen believes Morales may still have the strongest claim. One thing is certain, the next title fight could have huge consequences for the entire division.